We tried. That's the only thing I can say is we tried. A not great game right there. Big loss by 16 points. 5 going into the fourth and a complete fourth quarter meltdown.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Sunday was a nightmare for Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just the Indiana Fever losing their playoff opener. It wasn't just a game gone wrong. It was a double blow, a 1-2 gut punch that left Clark sitting courtside, powerless, frustrated, and stunned. She's been the face of this franchise, the rookie phenom, the hope. But on this day, she was a spectator, a passenger, and as she watched her team crumble in front of her, and later her beloved Chiefs fall in a brutal NFL loss.
We didn't shoot well, we didn't attack the basket well, we missed a lot of layups. This was an all-around game where the better team won. I don't think there's any other way to describe it.
It became clear, this might be the single worst day Caitlin Clark has experienced since entering the WNBA. Let's unpack what happened and why fans are calling it her lowest moment yet. Caitlin Clark wasn't just watching Game 1 from the bench. She was living every possession, grimacing at every missed shot, clapping after every good play, urging her teammates to push harder. But the one thing she couldn't do? Step in and change the outcome. And that's what made it brutal. Indiana's 80-68 loss to the Atlanta Dream wasn't just a game. It was the start of a do-or-die playoff series. The Fever are now just one loss away from ending their season. And Caitlin, the player they built this system around, could do nothing. Kelsey Mitchell gave an incredible performance, dropping 27 points and showing why she's all WNBA first team. But the rest of the squad couldn't match the energy. There was no Caitlin Clark magic from deep, no fiery fast breaks, no laser passes in transition. Just silence as Clark sat in street clothes. And for someone like her, who hates not being in control, that's worse than any stat line.
11 for 33. It didn't matter. Ryan Howard was hitting some shots. We let Naz Hillman give us the business. We let Naz Hillman score 16 points. We let Bree Jones physically dominate us. Bree Jones physically dominated. There was no question about it. Bree Jones physically dominated. Yes, the refs screwed the Fever in the fourth quarter.
If that playoff loss wasn't enough, Caitlin's evening didn't get any better. Earlier that day, she took to social media, rallying behind her two favorite teams, the Indiana Fever and the Kansas City Chiefs. As a diehard Chiefs fan, Clark tweeted out, "Feeling some Chiefs magic to finish the game here? Come on." But just like the Fever, the Chiefs couldn't deliver. After a strong late-game push from Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City still fell short, losing 20-17 to the Philadelphia Eagles. That dropped the Chiefs to 0-2 on the season, and dropped Caitlin's personal win count for the day to 0. Now let's be honest, it's just football, right? Wrong. For Caitlin Clark, a player who throws everything into the team she loves, this was personal. After already sitting through the heartbreak of her own team's loss, she had to watch another one of her teams crumble in the final minutes. It wasn't just a double loss, it was an emotional crash. Here's where it gets deep. There's something almost cruel about being so close to the game, feeling every cheer, every call, every missed opportunity, and yet being completely powerless to change it. That's where Caitlin Clark was. She wasn't at home. She wasn't watching on TV. She was right there on the sidelines, experiencing the heat of the moment, the roar of the crowd, the rise and fall of momentum. But she couldn't lace up, couldn't run onto the court, couldn't grab the ball and take control. And for someone who has built her entire career on being the one who makes things happen, that kind of silence is torture. Clark isn't just a player, she's an orchestrator. She doesn't play to participate, she plays to take over. And on Sunday, she had to watch as her teammates scrambled to find rhythm, to chase down loose balls, to execute under pressure, without the one person they're used to looking to for guidance. We've seen athletes struggle with injuries, but the timing of this? Right as the playoffs begin, It's not just unfortunate, it's emotionally devastating.
What is Bree Hall doing? Wait, she got to the line? Okay, we just got a bailout call right there. But the referees screwed us. Like, there was a possession where I think it's a 3-point game.
She trained all year for this, fought through media pressure, fan expectations, physical wear and tear, and now in the defining moment, she's just another voice on the bench. No matter how supportive she is behind the scenes, there's a limit to how much impact she can have from the sideline. That internal tension of wanting to do more, knowing you could do more, is the kind of emotional trauma that sticks with players long after the final buzzer. Let's zoom out for a second. This season was crafted as the Caitlin Clark era. The energy around the league shifted the moment she was drafted. Every Fever game became a media circus, attendance skyrocketed, ratings soared, people tuned in because of her. But now, one injury, and suddenly the narrative is changing. We're no longer talking about Clark the game changer. We're talking about Clark the question mark. Will she recover fully? Will she bounce back? Can the Fever win without her? And this playoff loss only amplifies those questions. You can feel it in the headlines. Instead of celebrating what she brought to the league, people are already speculating about what's next, or what might go wrong next. And that shift? It's brutal. It's the dark side of sports. When you're on top, the world can't get enough of you. But the moment you show vulnerability, whether it's an injury or a loss, some fans, some media outlets, they pounce. They love the comeback story, but they also love the downfall. And Caitlin Clark? She's caught right in the middle of that turning point. From the highest of highs to the most humbling of lows, all in a matter of weeks. This isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's about identity, about pressure, about fighting not just for wins, but for the narrative. Now let me give you my personal take. Sunday was devastating, no doubt. Caitlin Clark probably went to bed that night replaying every second of that Fever game, every turnover, every missed rotation, every chance to close the gap, and she wasn't in a single one of them.
Lexi Hull's going for an offensive rebound and Ryan Howard just chucks her onto the ground. No call. And then they come down. Aaliyah Boston gets a foul. It is what it is, but I should have been 2 free throws for Indiana because they were in the bonus at that stage. Suddenly, that's like 2 possessions later. Suddenly it's a double-digit game.
She then probably flipped on the Chiefs game, hoping for redemption. Hoping to cheer, to forget, to celebrate something. Anything. But instead, it was another heartbreak. Double losses, no wins, not even a single second of action on the floor. But here's where I shift gears. Because in every great athlete's story, there's that moment, that low point, that turning point. The one they never forget. The one that sits in their chest like a fire, burning until they can redeem it. I believe this was that moment for Caitlin Clark, because now she knows what it feels like to be sidelined during history. She knows what it means to be needed and unavailable. To have passion, but no outlet. To be ready, but unable. And that frustration, that helplessness, that's fuel. Clark is going to take this loss, and that Chiefs loss, and all the headlines, and use it as motivation. In the gym, in rehab, in every practice session next season. She's not just coming back to play, she's coming back to dominate. Sunday may have been her worst day, but it might also be the day that forged her strongest version yet. Now I want to hear from you. Was this Caitlin Clark's lowest moment in the WNBA? Or just the beginning of her next chapter? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you're riding with Caitlin through the ups and downs. Because if this is her lowest point, you don't want to miss the rise that's coming next.
They literally do not have. They have one bench player that's good enough to see that'll be good enough to see the floor for the Chicago Sky. Outside of maybe KK Timpson, but she's raw and the Fever don't. Like we saw the block that she got in the defense as she just did there. Like I'd still take KK Timpson over Bree Turner any day, especially with the way Carl Smesco coaches.